Here's the deal. Just give me the facts.
Just the facts. Only the facts.
Breathe. Focus. Keep it simple.
Janet's chilling in the quantum realm after the missile thing went down. Kang comes crashing in next to her in some random spot in the vastness of the quantum realm. They banished that dude, didn't kill him, and they give him a ship. Janet says, "I'm good, I can fix it for you real good." Turns out the ship is neurokinetic, and when Janet touches it, she sees who Kang is like a memory lane. You feel me? Hank, Hope and Janet all get snapped. During the 5-year blip, Scott ages 5 hours and Cassie ages 12 years. Cassie's so smart she creates a quantum telescope. Now for some reason Janet's all heated at Cassie for exploring the quantum realm, but it don't add up, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, Darren's alive and he's all like, "Call me MODOK and stuff, I'm the bad guy, homies." He builds a signal detector and says, "I turned your telescope into a sucking machine." The ants get sent somewhere else, but the main characters are all good. They meet Bill and he's all like, "I banged your hoe, bro," and she's like, "I had my needs," so he planted his seed.
It's the wrong details. It's the wrong... It has nothing to do with the story. Go!
They go to war with Kang, he dead, or is he? They keep Kang a secret just like Janet before. And that's a wrap, homies. This story's no more.
What?
Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is the best content of Phase 5 until the next content of Phase 5. The MCU, which hasn't made a good movie since Feige was named Chief Creative Officer in 2019, clearly doesn't take comic books seriously anymore. The people in charge hate the MCU and understand it just enough to crap all over it. Quantumania is the reason why kids are bullied for wearing a Spider-Man shirt at school. This movie not only makes me hate myself, it makes me want to go back to school and bully the kid with a Spider-Man shirt. The MCU is going the Doctor Who route. The show became so popular even the cool kids started to notice it, and then it became bad and too hard to follow like this multiverse crap, and now the cool kids think it's for losers. But it became so bad like Quantumania that even the Spider-Man shirt kids think Doctor Who is for losers. In the end they managed to lose both the original audience and the mainstream one. Every demographic, besides the imaginary one, think it's lame. That's what is happening to the MCU. Ant-Man 2 was bad but in a traditional way. It wasn't, "I must make a YouTube channel to vent" levels of bad. I have nothing more to say about the plot. I don't see why I should spend time on it when the writers are saying in the movie that they don't care about it. There was a time when they were trying to create a consistent world with meaningful outcomes.
How's Hank?
We're still running. The house is gone, so is our freedom. How do you think he is?
I can't believe you destroyed my suit. I mean, that was my life's work.
What was I supposed to do?
You were supposed to not take my suit.
But now it's gone. It's just a useless movie with no consequences.
So did I just kill everyone? Is everyone gonna die because of me? You know what? It's probably fine.
In Wakanda Forever, the movie ends and Shuri just let a murderous psychopath go. Wow, I wonder what will happen next. I'm so tired of dumb superheroes who are responsible for the very disasters they seek to prevent. While I'm talking about Wakanda Forever, I'm also very tired of insane tech like vibranium and pim particles capable of anything and handled by people who clearly have no idea how to use them to maintain a coherent world. Every time something bad happens in Season 5 of the MCU, a viewer with a brain will either say, "Why did they not use vibranium?" or "Why did they not use pim particles?" Same with Kang. Every time he kills someone, a viewer with a brain will think, "But then why did Ant-Man walk in the street saying it's all a funny joke?" My hope is the ants will unite all nations of the quantum realm to form some kind of union of Soviet Socialist republics and will come out at the end of Phase 5 to take over the world. You may be wondering what the hell I'm talking about. Well, that's because the movie loves to put random lines like that.
Socialism is a charged word.
I had needs. Oh my God. Don't be a dick.
There's more elaborate ones like,
When I steal something, I usually know what I'm stealing.
"Remember stealing? How is this a heist?" Yes, the new trope in modern movies of not showing but telling. Cassie took down 3 people by herself and Conan kicked someone who was already down. How is she the cool one?
We had a deal!
This is so lame. Is that the best line you could find during your big climax? The promise was nothing special and isn't even the real issue here. Why are you saying this?
You could have seen your daughter again.
Again, why are you saying this? He was with her all this time. If you're about to kill someone, you should say, "Haha, now you will never see her again." Not, "You could have seen her again if you hadn't done this, because now I'm going to shoot you and therefore you won't see her again because you will be dead. Haha." It doesn't make any sense to say it like that.
I want you to remember, you could have gone home. You could have seen your daughter again. But you thought you could win.
Is this giant pile of garbage supposed to be dialogue? Scott literally said in the movie he never wanted to fight. The only reason he did is because Kang refused to let Cassie go after Scott helped him. How the hell is Scott supposed to go home and see his daughter if you kidnapped her, you goddamn moron? It's almost like they butchered the dialogue and that's not what he was originally talking about. I think he was actually talking about the promise we hear in the trailer.
I'm the man who can give you the one thing you want. Time.
I just lost so much. He can give us a second chance. We had a deal.
It would also explain why the keep your promise line feels so out of place. The plot hinted at in the trailer has absolutely nothing to do with the movie. Either they made a mistake in the trailer, or, and that's the actual reason, they made last-minute changes. This trailer came out a month before the movie. That's crazy. The plot is too boring to make fun of and the writers admitted it was too dumb, so let's focus on the characters instead. There are many cool characters. Let's start with Janet, the brilliant scientist who doesn't want to talk about the experience of her life to anyone, even to her scientist husband who dedicated his life to finding her.
And I spent the next 10 years trying to learn all I could about the quantum realm.
Not only did she never told anyone about Kang, she didn't tell them basic information.
There are beings down here, intelligent beings. I always theorized it was possible, but to be here, a subatomic universe, this changes everything we know about life, evolution.
This is just hilarious. The guy spent 2 years theorizing about the quantum realm next to his wife who could have told him everything. The funniest joke, of course, is her not telling anyone about Kang. If she had told them to never explore the quantum realm without explanation because she feels bad and they do anyway, it would at least make some sense, but she never did. In fact, she's fine with Scott harvesting quantum healing particles. She didn't tell them because she felt guilty about it. A 35-year-old scientist sent to the quantum realm against her will after saving the lives of millions, who meets a guy for the first time after 20 years and decides to help him out, only to trap him again when she realizes he's evil, thinks she's responsible for this. I don't know how someone like her in such circumstances can think that for a second. The relatable thing would have been for her to immediately go back in with the Avengers instead of retiring. Oh, I feel bad for something that is obviously not my fault, so instead of fixing it I'll just let them die and now it will definitely be my fault. And that's not even mentioning the fact that she says she wants to be a mom while knowing that the high chance Kang will eventually get out and kill her entire family. This is so dumb. And we're not done here yet. It's also annoying to watch because the mystery drags on for half the movie. The characters ask 10 times what is going on and Janet is evasive every time for no reason. Oh wait, there's a reason. It's to tease the villain for 1 hour to hype up their bullcrap story. None of the other characters use the name Kang as well, it's just ridiculous. There was some drama like this in the first Ant-Man movie.
Time to screw around.
Please,
He is a
listen to me,
criminal.
please.
I'm your daughter.
No!
I'm expendable. That's why I'm here. I mean, that's why I'm in the suit and you're not.
Your mother convinced me to let her join me on my missions. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't regret having said yes.
Hank made the choice to hide the missile incident from Hope. Is it a good choice? Probably not, but that's what's interesting. This is not black and white. He was traumatized by the event and he didn't want to ask for help because people would steal his tech.
I think our first move should be calling the Avengers.
I spent half my life trying to keep this technology out of the hands of the Stark. This is not some cute technology like the Iron Man suit. This could change the texture of reality.
And it's solved in 10 minutes. The Janet drama in Quantumania is black and white. If you want to be a mom, if you want to protect the universe, if you want to save the people of the quantum realm, then you have to tell the Avengers. And there is no reason to wait 55 minutes. MODOK is probably the worst character in the MCU. It's hard to tell with all the garbage characters from the TV shows, but he's a serious contender. MODOK completely destroys the bad guy of Ant-Man 1. Darren wasn't exactly the most compelling villain, but he was decent enough for a first movie focusing on Ant-Man. He sure wasn't a stupid and silly character either. MODOK has one of the best arcs in the history of cinema. Darren was sent to the quantum realm when he was defeated in Ant-Man. His body was destroyed, and Kang, for some reason, decided to make him the ultimate killing machine. If there was a reason to keep him, it would have been for his scientific knowledge, not to turn him into some kind of assassin. Darren was Hank's student. He is smart and the best hope for Kang to escape the quantum realm. One may argue Darren went insane during Ant-Man because of the juice, and that's why he's an assassin, but according to Quantumania he's still very intelligent. He changes his name to MODOK and refuses to be called Darren. There's a funny joke about that in the movie. I'm kidding, it's not funny. So, good old MODOK tries to kill the good guys the entire movie and is defeated by Cassie. The ultimate killing machine loses to an idiot who doesn't know how to fight, but that's okay because what comes next is much, much worse.
Aaron, stop! I'm trying to be whatever this is. I don't know, just don't be a dick. It's never too late to stop being a dick.
Thank you, for that pep talk. You really should write poetry.
It's like poetry because it rhymes with Hank and Hope's relationship in Ant-Man.
It's too late.
It's too late for me.
It's brilliant because it's setting up a great payoff for the ending. We've come so far in the MCU. Now we are telling the bad guys to stop being mean with an inspiring speech and they just listen. Now the writers are so lazy they use Cassie to explain the character arc because writing a story slowly building to it is just too hard. The guy killed thousands of people. The movie spent 10 minutes on how oppressed the people of the Quantumania lands are, and all of this is brushed off as a joke. It reminds me of that time when Shuri let Namor go after killing hundreds of Wakandans. It was perfect writing then, and it's perfect writing here again. Shortly after, the big fight with the bad guy happens, and guess who comes to save the day? MODOK. Oh no, I'm sorry, he had a character moment, so he's Darren now.
My name is Darren, and I am not a dick!
What a payoff. Darren dies a hero, saving the multiverse of Quantumania. But don't worry, his death is a big joke so you won't feel sad. Feeling sad is bad, only good feelings allowed. Before dying, Darren says,
Maybe you were right about me, Cassie.
because of the setting, it reminded me of the time when Luke said, Vader, stop, trying to be whatever this is. Don't be a dick. And then Vader killed the Emperor. I mean, killed the fingers of the Emperor, and then said,
You were right about me.
this is basically the same character arc. Darren isn't the only one who saves the day. There's also the Ants that for some reason experience time differently and are now a Type 2 civilization far more advanced than humans. They experienced thousands of years in a single day. You might think it's silly, but you would be mistaken because it was established at the beginning of the movie.
Are you doing this?
Actually, no. They built their own tech.
Then you may be wondering how these ants are capable of building their own tech, given that they were previously depicted as slaves controlled by humans in the first two movies. However, that detail is not important. What's important is that the ants swarm in, kill the bad guys, and take away Kang. The ants just leave and that's it. Do they want to stay in the quantum realm? Do they want to take over the quantum lands? We don't know. What we do know is that in less than 10 movies, they will come out of a portal during the epic battle between the new and improved Avengers and Kang, and it will be so badass. I have literal chills just thinking about it. Speaking of Kang, this character is definitely one. He has control over time and space, he has telekinesis, he can shoot lasers, create shields and fly. He has the ability to talk very slowly as well. He has the same powers as Thanos with the gauntlet, except his powers come from a suit. He dies at the end, unless he didn't. Who knows? Was he the real Kang? If he wasn't, then why was he exiled? Why does he say he killed many Avengers? Why does Janet see him destroying worlds? Is it all a lie? I feel like it really was the bad guy. In which case, why the big bad guy of season 5 so lame? Kang sucks, it's over. Quick, end phase 4, I mean phase 5 to forget about him. Seriously, this guy is just pathetic, and unless he wasn't the real Kang, there's no way to make him a good character. Even if he were to kill 2 Avengers in the next movie, it would be out of character because he was previously beaten with his suit and army inside his fortress by a bunch of idiots. If he were to face people like Riri, then sure, he could win, but that's because one is lamer than the other. It wouldn't exactly be a great fight. That's it. That's all there is to say about the big bad guy. Darren was more interesting. That's crazy. Now let's talk about the Wasp. She's in the title of the movie. Next, let's talk about Cassie. No, but seriously, she does a lot of important things, but it feels like she's not a character and is only present for a few minutes. Ant-Man isn't allowed to save the day alone, she has to be there every single time. The annoying part is that I actually like her, but she has no agency in this movie. She's just a token female character. Next, let's talk about Cassie. She's now an activist who ends up in jail because she's a good person. This is a desperate attempt by the writers to make Cassie more like Scott. Look, she went to prison too, isn't it clever? Oh, Kang put them in jail and they joke about who went to prison the most. They don't know how to write a father-daughter relationship, so instead they give them something in common to trick the viewer.
Dad, a guy dressed like a bee tried to kill me in my room when I was 6.
Quantumania takes place in 2025, which means Cassie would be 16. If this is true, then the dialogue in this scene is not only awful but infuriating.
I'm telling you what to do. I'm just
Telling you what to do. Telling you exactly what to do.
Because she can't do what she wants. And Hope criticizing Scott for his parenting because he doesn't want his 16-year-old daughter to go to jail is insane. It also hurts the scene in Ant-Man.
I'd be a great partner.
You would be awesome. And if I let you, I would be a terrible dad.
The truth is, I'm pretty sure she's 18.
Hey, you try and entertain a 10-year-old when you can't leave the house.
It means she was 8 in the first movie and is now 18. It makes much more sense. I don't know if it's a mistake, if they forgot about it, or if Cassie said a random number, but in any case, that's bad writing. The timeline since the blip is already hard to follow, and if the characters start saying wrong information, we should just give up. The casting doesn't help either. They changed actresses 3 times and the age gap keeps getting worse. The first actress is 14, the second one is 21, and the third one is 26. She clearly doesn't look 18 and not at all 16. She calls Hank grandpa, but it doesn't really work since she has only known him for barely 2 years. She says it so naturally too. Grandpa. They're not related and the first time she talked to him is after the blip. It's very odd to find yourself a grandpa so fast when you're already that old. She technically already has 3 grandpas. How many does she need?
Are you trying to find my daddy?
Yeah, I am, sweetheart.
Hope you don't catch him.
It seems like it took some time for her to adjust to her new family. Did that change over time? Does she have family issues? Well, no one cares about Cassie. Let's talk about what's important. How Cassie is here to make Scott look bad. The problem is not that she's stealing the spotlight from Scott, because that's not exactly true. He gets many hero moments and praises from everyone. He's not a complete clown. The issue is the message that is conveyed by Cassie. However much good you once did, it's never enough. You have to keep helping people. It's very similar to the weirdos on the internet who think that if you don't actively fight for their cause, it means you're against their cause.
You're an Avenger. They need help. Mom, just want to help. Don't use Mom as an excuse. You just don't care. Just because it's not happening to you doesn't mean it's not happening.
No, you idiot, you don't have to help people and it doesn't mean you hate them or you're happy about their situation. As a wise woman once said, just don't be a dick to other people. That's it. But this movie really wants to push this message.
I used to wonder if this chapter in my life was over. But as Cassie reminded me, there's always someone you can help.
This is so annoying. Scott being an Avenger isn't enough, he has to be an activist now. It's just dumb and Cassie is not framed as being wrong or naive.
Would you look at me?
She's disappointed in you.
This father-daughter drama reminded me again of how great the first movie actually was.
Before Hope lost her mother, she used to look at me like I was the greatest man in the world. Now she looks at me and it's just disappointment.
Scott is surrounded by people making fun of him, and it makes no sense because he's not an asshole and he hasn't given up on being a hero too.
Will I be there when the Avengers need me? Absolutely. I'd never turn my back on them.
They make fun of his book and say he doesn't do anything.
At least we're trying to do something that matters.
Writing a book doesn't matter?
Pick up a copy of Look Out for the Little Guy. It'll change your life. Can I say that? It might change your life.
It's not like he's just playing Fortnite all day. He's inspiring young kids. I guess you're supposed to change the world by shrinking cops' cars. Even though it's out of character, they could have turned Scott into an asshole after saving everyone in Endgame. Or something more interesting. Now that he has saved an infinite amount of people, he has a hard time fighting for the little guy. The fact is, Scott is not a superhero, he's just a man who happens to have a suit, and he used it to escape jail, to save his daughter, or Hope. It's all about family. He's not Batman. But the reality is none of this matters because they are sucked in the quantum world and it's all forgotten. To be fair, there's this line.
You read my book?
Every goddamn word.
But that's not a whole lot. He saved an infinite amount of people for the second time and they will probably keep telling him that he's useless. Cassie will go to jail again because she hasn't learned anything, and now that she fought the power in the quantum realm, she might as well do the same in America. At no point did Scott tell her about how jail destroyed his life, or how an overprivileged woman with the opportunity to work with hope, to be a superhero, a brilliant scientist, or all of this at the same time, can do much more than fighting the police on the streets that isn't even the one to blame for the homeless crisis. They'll make fun of him again like they did in the car.
I'm suggesting another way to do it.
Okay.
That okay is infuriating.
Okay.
Why are you talking to him like that? It would work if she was a stupid teenager, but she's clearly not. We're shown the opposite. She's smarter than Hank and Janet, well, except when she waited for half the movie to use her suit. She learned about the quantum realm from Hank's journals. I mean, I'm sure if I had read Einstein's note when I was 15, I would have understood everything. It's as easy as deciphering Mandarin with no dictionary. I'm so tired of every character being so smart from birth for no reason. Can we have normal human beings again like Scott or even Bruce, because the guy actually went to school? The quantum realm is garbage. It doesn't make sense and it's never properly defined. Janet looks old when she met Kang. Did she spend 20 years alone? How come there are people now?
Not through the void and subatomica. There are worlds here. Worlds within worlds. It's a place outside time and space.
What the hell is the void and the subatomica? Where are the worlds within worlds? Nothing crazy happens to time and space except for the ants, and when they leave the quantum realm nothing has changed at all.
It means that you would enter a quantum realm.
Is there one realm or an infinite amount of realms? If I shrink from my location, will I end up in the same place as Scott? She went subatomic on the missile. He went subatomic in a kid's room. They went subatomic in a lab. He went subatomic from another world. All of them ended up in the same place, so I guess there's only one quantum realm. It means it's a very small world then, no puns intended. People are teleported somehow into another dimension. I don't know, maybe it makes some sense, but the writers haven't explained anything in the movie. It just sounds like bullcrap to me. And then they start talking about the multiverse with the ship. Is the quantum realm in our universe, or is there only one for the whole multiverse? Is it a gateway to other dimensions and alternate realities? But how would that work? We have no idea. Doctor Strange, Loki, Spider-Man, Endgame, Ant-Man 1, 2 and 3. All of these movies deal with multiverse or the quantum realm, which is a lot, and yet we still have no idea what is going on. How is it possible to start Phase 5 so badly? Nothing is explained and nothing ever will be because the writers know it doesn't work. Phase 5 is already dead. The world in itself is very uninspired. There are scholars, a war for freedom, and a surprising amount of humans. There's no reason to care about this world and the war. We are thrown into it, there's no setup, and we spend less than 5 minutes with the people of the quantum lens. It's like Avatar but without the first hour. Let's start the movie 5 minutes before the tree incident, that way the viewer doesn't know what's happening, who is who, nor why they should care about the tree or the blue people. This looks so pathetic. There's like 2 people. They're the weird creature that can split itself, which is the kind of idea one would expect from a movie about atoms. Unfortunately, it doesn't go much further than that. Broccoli Man and Jelly Man are just more fascinating. This movie is the definition of creative bankruptcy. It's supposed to be a unique place, yet there's spaceships, gravity, weapons, time, revolutions. It could have taken place in any random planet in Guardians. Remember when Scott is attacked by a sun? Me neither. The most memorable moment is of course the probability storm, because it makes so little sense you just can't forget about it. What is a probability storm?
Every choice you could make existing all at once.
From what I could gather, it's every choice this Scott can make and not different versions of him. How the hell is Baskin Scott a probability? You've literally put it in as a joke, it has nothing to do with what was established. Then Scott touches hope and all the probabilities are gone. What? Why are they all listening to him? On first viewing I thought he was putting on his chip to control the other Scotts. It appears as though he is retrieving an item from his pocket and inserting it into his ear. He then contorts his face like Professor X. There's even a buzzing sound. But it doesn't make sense on every level. He says,
"We all want the same thing."
As if he's not controlling them. All the Ant-Man would also have to be equipped with a receiver to be mind-controlled. It would mean as well that he has the ability to mind-control humans and millions of them at the same time, which would be insane. So I don't think that's what happened. This scene is simply poorly executed. But the other possibility doesn't work either. It was established that only him can hear her. How come they are all listening now? Why does he get to be the leader? If you all want the same thing, then you're not doing every possible choices. I know what the writers are trying to say, but it's dumb and lame. They just want their payoff even though it doesn't work. The probability storm is a stupid gimmick, boring to watch, and a missed opportunity. The most creative element of the storm is Baskin Ant-Man, which doesn't even work. MODOK can detect signals and turn telescopes into sucking machines, but he didn't detect Hank, Scott, and the Avengers. You're telling me none of them had any signals?
It wasn't a message you put in Scott's head, it was an antenna.
No signal is emitted.
I'm tracking the signal using subatomic frequencies.
Cassie's signal was the only one detected, and coincidentally, everyone happened to be in the room at the same time. That's crazy. Maybe MODOK was snapped and that's why he didn't detect Scott or the Avengers. Wait, can he be snapped or is it outside of the gauntlet scope? What about the time when Janet possessed Scott? Could he do that too? And the time when she used magic? Does he have powers too? Wait, I thought the quantum realm turned people insane as well. Why is no one insane? I'm lost. And there it is. I've just asked 25 questions in 5 minutes, and I stopped at 25 because it's annoying to watch, but I could do this all day. If you haven't read the wiki page, none of this can be answered, but I'm also pretty sure most of it isn't explained in the wiki because the writers have no idea what they are doing. The fact that I'm asking so many questions is evidence enough to show how garbage the quantum realm is. It makes no sense, none of it is explained, every movie contradicts itself, and most of all, the realm is a boring and generic CGI fest. Despite portraying a new world, it's less fascinating and captivating than the previous two movies, which made better use of beam particles, ants, and special effects. I've seen a lot of people saying the Marvel formula is played out and this film is like any other MCU movie. This is wrong. They've used the Marvel formula on the first 3 phases and it worked just fine. The problem is that they changed it in phase 4. Sure, getting the same movie every time isn't great, but the Marvel formula done right cannot produce unwatchable trash for the simple fact that cool action scenes and charismatic actors and funny moments equals entertainment. Take this garbage Quantumania story, put the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy in it, and most people will have a good time. Think about it. Guardians 2 story is completely stupid, but no one cares because there's cool music, cool actors, and funny lines. The point of the Marvel formula is to turn off your brain and get entertained. If you change the formula and it's not entertaining anymore, people will turn on their brain and realize how atrocious the story is. The Marvel formula is broken. The MCU used to have actors able to act.
But why didn't you tell me that sooner? I lost your mother. I didn't mean to lose you, too.
From Cassie to Riri to America, the MCU is a eulogy for charisma. It's probably not even the fault of these young actresses, so I'm not going to give examples to point at them and laugh. Instead, let's look at this line.
I feel like I'm hugging Godzilla.
It feels so cool!
The joke doesn't really work because they're both the same size, but the real problem is her answer, which makes it 1,000 times worse. I know, it's so cool. Really? That's all the writers gave her? How am I supposed to like her with this? Which is a neat transition to my next point. The new characters are not likable because they give them terrible lines and personalities. How did we get from this?
So maybe you just need someone watching your back, like a partner.
Wait, who did you think?
Me. Don't laugh. I'd be a great partner.
To this.
At least I'm still trying to do something with mine.
It's really dangerous tech.
I know it's dangerous. I know it's dangerous.
I'm suggesting another way to do it.
Okay. Okay.
The MCU used to be about inspiring people.
This is your chance to earn that look in your daughter's eyes, to become the hero that she already thinks you are. It's not about saving our world. It's about saving theirs.
Damn, that was a good speech.
I don't want to be like America, Riri, and especially not Cassie.
Come to the tower! Fight back! I know you've been waiting. Now is the time to strike. He knows he can't take all of us.
Wow, you're a terrible character. The MCU used to have characters talking to each other to solve issues. Now they just hate dialogue. It takes 55 minutes for Janet to explain things. And don't get me started on exposition.
Hey, what's up with your eye?
Peachy, it's a going away present.
Oh yeah, I still got my scar from a year ago.
Oh yeah.
That's how you do exposition.
Hey, how's your girl, man?
She left me. Yeah, my mom died too, and my dad got deported. But I got the van.
That's how you do funny exposition, because this character is supposed to be a clown and it's the beginning of the movie. This dialogue is effective and doesn't feel jarring as Scott just came out of jail. Now we get memory lanes and neurokinetic ships. These are the laziest plot devices ever made. How do you make a recap of the story? Like this.
Your school has rules, right? Like, you can't draw on the walls. Well, your daddy went to Germany and drew on the walls with Captain America. And that was a violation of Article 16, Paragraph 3 of the Sokovia Accords.
You don't put a montage in the middle of the movie at random.
Our fates have always been forged together. Ever since that day we met.
This montage doesn't seem like a creative decision, as it doesn't blend seamlessly into the scene. It's just there for the viewer. It's very stupid. The MCU used to make different kind of movies with the formula. In Ant-Man they want to steal something, there's a plan, there's deception, there's gadgets, and in the end the plan goes south. It's a spy movie. It's simple, it's clean. It's different from Guardians, from Iron Man, from Civil War, from Homecoming, from any MCU movie really. Now it's all about green screens and saving not only the world but the multiverse from the dumb heroes who made a mistake. It's a bunch of nonsense that has no identity. Wakanda Forever managed to have more similarities to Quantumania than to Black Panther. The C in MCU used to stand for cinematic. It now stands for content. Quantumania is a sequel to Loki and a prequel to Loki Season 2. It has nothing to do with Ant-Man. I and many others don't watch your trash shows. You made it clear with the Multiverse of Madness and now Quantumania that we're missing crucial elements from not watching the shows, and you think it will incite people to watch them. You're wrong. What you're doing is charging more money to the hardcore fans while slowly telling the casuals that it's not made for them. Superhero fatigue doesn't exist, there's only trash movie fatigue. I love how the first movie was called Ant-Man, then it was Ant-Man and the Wasp, and now it's Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. The Wasp inserted herself in the franchise even though she was barely in the movie. I wonder if they'll just keep adding words after Quantumania when they make another movie. Quantumania is not a sequel to Ant-Man and the Wasp. Oh wait, it is. Look, they went to dinner.
Did you want to grab dinner or something? I mean, because I'm free. Yeah, come on.
Jokes aside, it's actually a neat little detail. I would rather watch a 2-hour movie of them talking about magic tricks instead of whatever it is we got. What happened to Bill and Ava? What about his friends? They're not bad anymore. It would have probably been more entertaining to bring them in the quantum realm too. How come a movie with so many cool ideas in isolation turned out so bad in the end? Because the world building and character work is trash, making for a confusing story. Because there's too many main characters and too many useless ones like the guy who is here only to make fun of Hank. Because this movie is not a sequel to Ant-Man. It was hijacked to push Phase 5, to introduce a new villain, and to kick off Loki Season 2 that most people will not watch. Thank you Disney+.